Hello, everyone. In this video, we're going to show you how to file an amended single location service provider tax return. This is a logged in activity, so you must have a Maine Tax Portal username and be logged in to do this. We will begin on the logged in home screen in the Summary tab and navigate down to the Service Provider Tax panel, where we'll click the option to view and file returns. We'll click the View or Amend Return hyperlink for the period for which we'd like to amend. And we're brought to the default mode, which is View. Since we'd like to amend this return, we'll click the Amend hyperlink in the top right-hand corner of the screen. And this will make the fields editable. A few notes before we continue. All required fields are indicated by either a red asterisk or a red circled I, and you'll be unable to continue until all required fields have been completed. On this screen, the only required field is our reason for amending, so we'll select the most applicable option from the drop-down menu. We'd like to draw your attention to the Save Draft button at the bottom of the screen. You may click this at any time to save your progress and continue later. You may also select the Cancel button. This will not save your progress. Or you could navigate back to a previous page by clicking either the Previous button or by clicking on a previous screen name in the blue bar at the top. For the purposes of today's demonstration, we'll just click Next to proceed. We are brought to the Breakdown of Services screen. All information from our original return has auto-populated. You only need to change the fields that you are correcting with this amended return. If you are unclear of what is being asked for a given line, blue text in the line name indicates that you may click it for more information. Once we have filled in or corrected all applicable lines, we may click Next to continue. Next, we're brought to the totals page where we can see our total services subject to 6%, and our total tax due has been auto-calculated for us. We'll confirm that this appears right and click Next to continue. On the documentation page, we can add supporting documentation if we had entered an amount on the bad debts line, or since we're amending, we can add supporting documentation for that. So we'll click the Add Attachment hyperlink, enter a description of the file, browse for our file, and once we've selected our file, we'll click OK. And you can repeat that process as many times as necessary until all supporting documents are attached. When you're ready to continue, you may click Next to proceed. Next is the balance page. This page is very important, so we'll stop here to go over each line. There are 3 lines on this page. The first is the account balance line. This shows your balance for this account for the previous business day. It may not include all applicable penalties, interest, payments, and/or returns. It also does not reflect any changes that you are making with this amended return. The second line does reflect the changes that you are making with this amended return. And on the third, we ask that you add the first and second lines together and enter the result. And finally, we are asked if we would like to make a payment now. For the purposes of this demonstration, we're going to say yes and click Next to continue. We're brought to the payment screen where we'll indicate whether our bank account is a checking or savings, enter our routing number, our account number, and our account number again to confirm. We are also asked if we would like to save this payment channel for future use. For the purposes of today's demonstration, we're going to leave it as now. The payment date will default to today. If you are amending before your payment due date, you may select a future date. If you are amending after the payment due date, you will not be able to select a date other than today. The amount will default to the total on the third line of the previous page, but you may enter a lesser amount if you so choose. You will not be able to enter a greater amount. Either way, you'll be asked to confirm the amount again. And we'll click Next to proceed. On the summary screen, we'll review the information from our return and verify that it looks right. And we'll click Next to continue. On the declaration screen, we are asked to check the box, verifying that our return is true, correct, and complete. And we'll enter in the first and last name of the person filing this return. And again to confirm. And we'll click Submit. This brings us to the confirmation screen. As always, we do encourage you to make note of this information for your records. That concludes our demonstration of how to file an amended single location service provider tax return. Thank you all for watching.